TIFF is in less than 2 weeks, so here I am with some suggestions for what to see. If you watched my last video where I broke down some of my tips and tricks for TIFF, this video is the part 2 that I promised, where I'm going to break down each program of the festival, because TIFF is arranged into different programs with different meanings, and most people don't know what they are. So that you can make the most of your festival experience, so that you can broaden your cinematic horizons and try something new, I'm going to outline the different programs for you. I'm going to give you a couple suggestions per program so that you can clue in a bit to what might look good. Also, I'm trying to really factor in the fact that some movies will come out soon. Whiplash, for example, you don't need to see that at TIFF. You can wait till October. Or you could see it at TIFF. It's your choice, seriously. But I'm just trying to, factor in a bunch of facts that if you're really, want to get, a festival, you want to be a film festival person, you want to be an expert on film and be able to tell your friends, I saw that movie a year ago and it's only coming out in theaters now. This is what I'm kind of going for in these suggestions. So, obviously I'm subject to be wrong about these movies because we only get a little synopsis and a picture and we go in expecting something really incredible and sometimes it's really shit. So you can't ever know exactly what you're getting at TIFF unless you see a little trailer, which is you should kind of get from the trailer sometimes if a sense of the movie, but then again, sometimes you also don't. It's hard to tell. That's kind of the fun of the festival. It's you're really just, blind shooting. This is kind of my suggestions are also kind of the movies that I'm seeing at TIFF, I guess. So maybe I'll see you there because I am definitely gonna go see the movies that I suggest to you, obviously. Why would I suggest a movie and then not see it myself? And make a TIFFR account. It's, the actual link to the website is, I'll put it under the video, but I think it's TIFFR.com. It's this incredible website where you can make your TIFF schedule in the simplest way. You basically make a short list of all the movies that you want to see. So click every single movie that interests you, literally, just click all of them, make your short list, and then go into their scheduling app and every single showtime for the movies that you want to see will appear, and they'll appear by day, so you can just look at the day and all the movies that you want to see line up, and then you just click on the ones that you want to add to your schedule. It's the most amazing thing ever, and it's been all I've been doing for 3 days has been arranging and rearranging and adding movies and taking out movies from my TIFFR, and it's a lot of fun to do too. And it's also really cool because you can, view your friends' TIFFRs and see, it'll actually tell you are going to this event if you have an overlap of a movie. My username on TIFFR is Fresh from the Theater because that's my website. And if you want to check out my schedule, it's not final. I mean, I don't have tickets yet. It's obviously not final, but this is kind of what I plan to do. And if you see me, totally come up to me. I would be so happy if anyone who recognized me from these videos came up to me and said hi. First, we have gala presentations. Galas are the big, fancy, schmancy events at Roy Thomson Hall. So the difference between a gala movie and any other movie is that it's playing at Roy Thomson Hall in its premiere. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure that is the definition of a gala, is that it plays at Roy Thomson Hall. So it's nothing really special. Honestly, the movies in this category usually suck. I don't understand how they figure out what's a gala. I really, really don't understand. Laggies is the new film by Lynn Shelton. I personally really like her. That's why I'm recommending this film. She also directed Your Sister's Sister and Touchy Feely. I think Touchy Feely is a bit underrated. I don't even think it really properly came out. I liked it. Anyways, she's a really independent female director, kind of a bit on the mumblecore side of things, but this seems like it's her most mainstream film. And it stars Keira Knightley, Chloe Grace Moretz, and Sam Rockwell. I think that's a pretty good cast. And you know what? I'm not a big fan of Keira Knightley, but I love her when she does these indie comedy type of roles as opposed to her period piece roles. I mean, she totally looks the part for like a period piece, but she totally also is so much more fun when she does these little indie comedies, such as like Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. Anyways, it's about her kind of ditching her fiance, telling him she's going on a week retreat for like a self-help kind of thing, where she ends up just hanging out with her friends. She's someone who doesn't know how to grow up. It played at Sundance. I think it got pretty mixed to good reviews, but I think the premise sounds good. I like the director, so I would recommend that film if you want something kind of light and fun. Next, I would recommend The New Girlfriend. This film is by Francois Ozon. He's a really popular French director. I haven't personally seen any of his films. It's kind of weird, I guess, for me to recommend it in that case, but all of his films sound so interesting. He's kind of just one of those directors I've always wanted to watch his films. It's about a young woman who discovers a secret about the husband of her recently deceased best friend, and whatever goes on with that. I just think the premise is kind of interesting, so I would say check that one out. And thirdly, I would recommend Samba, which is a French film that is the same directors who did The Untouchables, which was a very popular French film from a couple years ago. That was it was a really feel-good movie that I also did not see, but I've heard so much about it, and I've always meant to see it as well. This also stars Omar Sy, who was also in that film, The Untouchables, and Charlotte Gainsbourg, who I love, and it's about a man with, like, immigration problems or something, and Charlotte Gainsbourg's the woman who helps him. I just feel like because of the buzz of The Untouchables, this will probably be a nice follow-up. The next section I'm going to talk to you about is Masters. Masters is a section that has really prolific filmmakers, like really people, I guess, that TIFF considers masters. I'm honestly not very familiar with the people that they put in this category. It's not like Terrence Malick or like a David Fincher or something. It's not like that kind of like prolific director. It's more like really random people that people like you and me probably would not have heard of. But apparently they're masters. Anyways, a couple films that look good here. Okay, one that I have heard of this person, and sorry, I should not. There is a person in this category that I do know, Jean-Luc Godard. His film Goodbye to Language, which is in 3D, which tied with Mommy for the jury prize in Cannes, is playing, and I want to see that. It just looks really intriguing and interesting, and it's probably like nothing you'll ever see. A Pigeon Sat on a Branch Reflecting on Existence by Roy Andersson. This looks like a dark, weird film. I've never seen any of his other films, just guessing by the premise. And Hill of Freedom, which is the new Hong Sang-soo. Also another director, I have never seen his films, but he's just a very, prominent film festival figure, and I heard his film Arsuni was really good last year, and I missed it in Locarno and at TIFF, so I want to see his film this year since I keep missing his films. We're going to discuss special presentations. This is a hard section to narrow down. There are a ton of films in this section. The ones that I'm most excited for, first one is While We're Young. This is the new Noah Baumbach film. He is the director of Frances Ha, Kicking and Screaming, the old version, not the Will Ferrell one, and The Squid and the Whale, as well as Greenberg. He's reteaming actually with Ben Stiller in this film, and also Naomi Watts stars, and Adam Driver, and Amanda Seyfried, and it's about a couple who feel threatened by a younger couple who come into their lives. And I just really love Noah Baumbach, and that's why I would recommend that film. I also want to mention Hungry Hearts. This is another film that stars Adam Driver. It's an Italian film. The actress is someone I don't know, but Adam Driver is randomly in this other foreign cast. And it's about a couple who have to make an important decision about their newborn child, and the description says it's like this very claustrophobic suspense film, which catches my interest because I would not have expected that kind of description for this otherwise looking like a family drama, but who knows. Another one is Force Majeure, which is about a man and his family on a vacation, and there's like an avalanche, and he ditches his family and does not help them. It reminds me a lot of the episode of Seinfeld where there's a fire and George just runs, fire, fire, and does not help anyone. He's at a kid's birthday party and he just literally tramples over the women and children and does not help anyone and just saves himself. This movie is like that in a movie. That's exactly what I feel like it's gonna be. Next, we're gonna break down the Discovery Program. The Discovery Program only features new directors, meaning First film or second film? Bang Bang Baby. This is a musical, and it's directed by Jeffrey St. Jules. He's apparently a very famous like short film director who's been in the TIFF Shortcuts Canada program multiple times. And this is his first feature. He's been working on it for 10 years. It stars Jane Levy, the actress from Suburgatory, and Justin Chatwin. And so basically she plays this girl who wants to be a singer, and this very famous pop star gets stranded in her little hometown, and she feels like she's finally gonna make it big because she's met him and all this stuff. And then like a power plant breaks down, and body mutation breaks out in this little small town, and I saw like a clip of it, and I think it looks so interesting, so 1950s retro meets like David Cronenberg, like body mutation. I think it's gonna be so much fun, so I'm really excited for that. The Tribe, which apparently was a smash hit at Cannes, and it's about this group of deaf mute people, or like students, who are into activities like robbery and prostitution and assault and all this really bad shit. And because they're deaf and mute, there's no speaking in the film, but there's also no subtitles in the film. So it's this kind of like silent sensory experience, supposed to be really, really cool. So I'm really excited for that. Right, TIFF documentaries. I'll be honest, I don't watch documentaries. I'm not a fan. Maybe it's my age. Maybe I'll grow into it. Maybe one day I'll watch documentaries and enjoy them. But for now, I'm not really a big fan. The only documentary I've ever watched and really enjoyed was Stories We Tell, and that's partly because it's just incredible, but also Sarah Polley, I love her, and that gave me the desire to watch it in the first place. But for the most part, I don't know these people, and this is a shot in the dark, me recommending things. But based off of my knowledge, the ones that look good this year are The Look of Silence, the same people who made The Act of Killing. It actually deals with a family from The Act of Killing who reacted to that movie. Monsoon, which looks like this big environmental, cool, epic thing. I saw a clip of it. And I'm interested personally in Seymour because Ethan Hawke directed it, and I love Ethan Hawke. I just think he's such an interesting person. Never mind being a good actor, but he's just an actor with such a great personality outside of that, and he's basically documenting this person named Seymour something, who's someone supposedly important, and I like Ethan Hawke, so I will mention this film when I talk about TIFF Talks. Next, we have Contemporary World Cinema. There's a lot of great films in this category, and I'm having a hard time deciding which ones to watch in some cases, but one that I really, really am interested in is Bird People. This was a hit at Cannes, and it is about a businessman and a maid who somehow cross paths in a quirky little tale, and it's supposedly told in like kind of two halves of a story, and it's probably pretty straight throughout, and then gets really weird towards the end. I really want to see that movie. Breathe, which is Melanie Laurent. You would know her. She is from Inglourious Basterds. She is also on my wall. Miss Melanie Laurent. She is a bastard. Anyways, she directed her first film, and if she's anywhere close to as good as directing as she is at acting, then I'm definitely interested. It's Partners in Crime, which is from Taiwan, which is about a few group of friends, guys who are investigating a classmate's suicide, and apparently maybe it wasn't a suicide. And it looks good to me. Totally picking this movie off of its premise. It's called Two Shots Fired. It's about a teenager who his life kind of takes a turn after he tries to kill himself and doesn't succeed, and it's supposed to be a dark, absurdist comedy from Argentina, so I'm going to try to see that at the festival. Category I want to focus on is City to City. Every year, TIFF chooses a city that it's going to focus on, meaning it displays films from that city. This year, the city chosen was Seoul, South Korea, and there's only a handful of films in this section. The one that most interested me is called Scarlet Innocence, and I'm just going to read you the synopsis because that's all I know about it. A university professor gradually succumbing to blindness is entranced by an obsessive love in this modern-day adaptation of a classic Korean fairy tale. I think that sounds really lovely, so I'm going to try to see that. I'm trying to see a film in each category, and there's Shortcuts Canada and Shortcuts International. These are just collections of short films. I honestly don't think I really have the time in this video to go into it, but you can pick a selection of short films to see just based on thematics that they're grouped in and go see like 5 of those. So if you're into short films, totally try to do that. There's also the wavelength section. It's also similar in the sense that it groups short films together but it also has a few feature-length films, so wavelengths. The one that I most want to see, I'm only probably going to see one wavelengths. It's called Heaven Knows What. It's directed by, I guess, brothers, Benny and Joshua Safdie, and it's about, it's actually a real woman who was a heroin addict living on the streets of New York, playing a version of herself, also about, the movie's about a young heroin addict living on the streets of New York, but it's also a fictional film, but it's her playing herself. And Caleb Landry Jones, who you may know from Antiviral if you saw that, it's really creepy kind of guy, plays her lover, and it just looks really interesting. If that didn't interest you enough, I think it looks really interesting. Vanguard is basically just like really outrageous, strange, weird film, the new cinema, the future of cinema, and there's quite a few films in this category that I want to see. The one that I most want to see, and actually a Vanguard film is my number one most anticipated of the whole festival. I've been anticipating this movie since it was announced, since I heard about it, and I remember reading about them shooting it in Berlin, and like, I think it was in Berlin, but yeah, I read about them shooting it, and I'm just so excited. I know it played at Sundance, it's not a world premiere, and it probably got mixed reviews, but I don't freaking care. I am so excited for The Voices. The Voices is written and directed by Marjane Satrapi. I love this woman. She's the writer of Persepolis, the graphic novel. The Voices, this film stars Ryan Reynolds, who does not pick that great movies lately, but he is bold in his choices. He tries to do some interesting stuff, and this looks like one of those choices where he plays a man who's off of his antipsychotic medication, and he has a talking cat who's evil, and a talking dog, and he talks to them, and it just looks like this really absurdist, strange, weird, fucked up movie that I am so excited to see. So definitely The Voices is my number one anticipated at the festival. Another one I want to see is Goodnight Mommy. That's like these twins and their mom and some sort of identity crisis and looks really eerie. And there's one called Spring, which is like literally in the description says it's a supernatural twist on Before Sunrise. Enough said, I am seeing that movie. If you didn't know, Before Sunrise and Before Sunset are my favorite movies of all time. Last but not least, the films that screen last in the day, Midnight Madness. Midnight Madness, these are horror films, usually very gory, a lot of the time really shitty, but they play at midnight. They're known to be like the most fun you can have at the whole festival. You go there, you're waiting for the movie to start. There's this big beach ball that everyone passes around the audience. I volunteered a few of the Midnight Madness shifts when I used to volunteer at Ryerson. They're always at Ryerson. It's a fun experience. And Midnight Madness, if you don't fall asleep, it'll be fun. It'll be a fun time of screaming, and like the horror fans of all horror fans are at this, and that should tell you how fun it'll be. This year actually looks like a really great lineup for Midnight Madness, which is not usually what happens. Usually they're kind of really like B, C, D level movies. I'm really excited for a few of them this year. The one I'm most excited for is Kevin Smith's Tusk. This comes out like a week after the festival, so it may not be worth it to see at the festival, but I'm really going to try to get a premiere ticket to this movie because I want to see Kevin Smith talk in person. I think that would be so incredibly interesting. He's such like a person you'd want to hear talk and stuff. This is a movie about a man who has to dress up as a walrus. So that's all you need to know. It looks really fucked up. The Guest, which stars Dan Stevens of Downton Abbey fame. This is getting really a lot of buzz out of Sundance, and it's basically about a guy who breaks into this person's house, claiming to be the best friend of their deceased son. Kind of has a Tom at the Farm vibe with their premise, but probably a lot scarier. And another one that looks really weird is Tokyo Tribe, which just looked like kind of like an Only God Forgives kind of vibe, but like on steroids, like this Asian film that's got rapping and dancing and murder. That's, again, all you need to know. And lastly, the one I'm looking forward to is It Follows, which is about a girl who after like a sexual, I don't know, she gets raped or something. She basically gets like haunted, and she has to pass along this haunting to someone else in order to get rid of her curse. It just looks like a really interesting, more moralistic and more relevant kind of horror film. So yeah, that was a freaking long video. If you stayed to the end of this, thank you. You must be a true fan of not me, but TIFF, and listening to people talk about TIFF, and that's just a true testament to the kind of moviegoer that you are, that you listen to me babble about TIFF for like, I don't know, half an hour? I don't know. I'm gonna try to edit this so it's not half an hour anymore. But thank you for watching this video. I'm Adriana from Fresh from the Theater. Those were some quick recommends for the festival. Of course, it's arbitrary. You're going to still see what you're going to see. You're still probably going to buy a ticket to Foxcatcher or Whiplash. That's fine. Do that. Go see the world premiere of, neither of those movies are not world premieres. Go see some world premieres, though. Go, seriously. Eden, While We're Young, Men, Women, and Children. It's really cool to say that you were at the world premiere of a movie. I'm trying to go to a couple before we go. The Chris Evans movie. And the last 5 years as well. And enjoy your TIFF. Go on TIFFR. If you want, comment on this video with your link to your TIFFR schedule. I would totally go see what events I'm overlapping with you people if you're someone who goes to my website, I guess, or watches my videos. That'd be really cool. And my TIFFR link will be under this video as well. You can see where I'm planning to go. I guess I'm kind of inviting stalkers. That's a little creepy, but hopefully you don't stalk me. And thank you so much for watching this video about me talking about TIFF. As I've said before, my website, Fresh from the Theater, is going to have tons and tons and tons and tons of TIFF coverage. A bunch of us are going to the festival. We're all writing about it. I'm videoing about it. I'm going to get as many people to join me in my videos about it as I can. We're going to Instagram. We're going to have Instagram reviews during the festival. We're going to have live on the scene reviews. You won't get my wall of movies during TIFF. You're gonna get wherever the hell I am. So, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you at TIFF!